Bend the knee. Kala Mogolis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again for another edition of Ice and Fire Opinions. And hopefully, you guys can hear me much better than last week. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties from last week. I was, trying some new stuff, and I'm still getting, like my damn intro graphics and all that. Oh man, what a day! What a day! This has been a hell of a week, and let me make sure I'm not peaking like crazy. Hopefully, you guys can hear me well. Hey, listen! Don't forget to make sure to follow me on Twitter at iDonWillie. Make sure to spread the salt for the Salt King. So today, we are going to be talking about a Stark Bannerman, and that's why I have on this lovely direwolf shirt right now, because we are going to be talking about this guy right here, and that is Wyman Manderly, aka Lord Too Fat to Sit a Horse. And shout out to everyone who's in the chat right now. Of course, we got AK Alicia Kingston. What's happening? We got my man Sir LT Giles. We have Cat, and we have Carlos Holt. So, you know, yeah. So Wyman Manderly is a pretty interesting character who we hear about in the books. We don't really see him too often, but when we do see him, his impact and his presence is felt. And this one was actually suggested by my man Ricky Hunt, Hail Hydra. Um, because I think what's the best way to put this now? I think he said something about today being Water Day. And are you guys not getting the Are you guys not getting the soundboard? Shout out to Big E. Wait up, are we not having no soundboard today? That would be very, very bad if we're not actually getting the damn soundboard, because we should be getting that. All these technical difficulties. Some BS, I swear. Let me know. Oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we heard the sound. Okay. Yes. Shout out to me, making sure the sound is crispy this week. Okay. So, yeah, the sound. I think Alicia, you're talking about. I don't know if he's talking about the sound or the sound board. Hopefully, like you're able, to hear this right here. Hopefully, if not, then it's another technical thing I'm gonna have to try to work out. But it's all good. Anyway, so look, let's talk about Wyman Manderly. So Wyman Manderly, Lord Too Fat to Sit a Horse. The first time that I personally can remember hearing that statement, or maybe the first time that it really stuck in my head, was hearing it from Stannis. Because Stannis, I don't know, man. For some reason, he just comes off as a wild dude, and he's the guy who he says stuff sometimes and really, really sticks in your head when he's describing people. He's probably not the first person in the books for to Wyman Manderly or Too Fat to Sit a Horse. But he is probably the person who says it with the most vitriol Oh, shout out to Ricky Hunt.
My man.
Yeah, yeah, man. I wanted to give you your proper due since you're the one su- who suggested this video or this character. So, we all know Wyman Manderly is from White Harbor. He is the lord of. It's not a minor house. It's kind of an in between ish house because White Harbor and the Manderleys are the richest. Uh, like White Harbor is the richest town in the North, right? So basically, they should have either the most money or the second most money as compared to the Starks, because I'm pretty sure for them being uh for them being Northerners, they would have to pay taxes to not only to the crown but to the Starks as well. Now, I could be wrong about that, but it if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of how taxation goes in the feudal system. Sort of like you paying your like state taxes and then your federal taxes. So the Starks would be the state tax, and then the crown would be the federal taxes. So when they talk about him in the books, they really talk about him in a very disparaging, because a lot of the lords are, if they are not in shape, uh they at least can. I mean, like, the fact that they call him Lord Too Fat to sit a horse, tells you a lot about what you need to know about it. The perception of, they think he's just this big slob who, it's like, you're a rich fat dude. His sons are some of the few knights in the North, because the North doesn't really follow the faith of the Seven. The Manderleys are pretty much the only house that I can think of currently that follows the faith of the Seven. Like, you have the Brackens, the Blackwoods. The Blackwoods were a northern house. Um, they got chased into the Riverlands at some point, and then wound up, following the faith of the Seven. But they still kind of have northern ties to a certain extent. But the Manderleys were different. They were actually originally from the Reach, and something happened. They got to some issue with, I believe, the High Towers or the Gardeners, maybe 1,000 years ago, and they got chased out of the Mander, which is in the south, and the Starks gave them refuge. Said, here, you can take over where White Harbor is, because White Harbor actually used to belong to a cadet Stark branch. And I don't know why, but for some reason that cadet Stark branch decided to team up with the Boltons and uh, and decided to rebel against the Stark. So that's House Grey Stark. Grey Stark is no longer, and now the Manderleys rule where they used to stay. So fast forwarding to today, you have Wyman, like I said, his two sons, Wendell and Willis, and uh, they. It's funny because, okay, Wyman Manderly is a prominent part of the War of the Five Kings in terms of supplying uh, men and also supplying ships for the Stark cause. And in fact, Rob is telling Manderly, look, I'm gonna need you to build up our warships or whatever, And even after Rob dies, Wyman Manderly is still kind of doing that. So he has all of these ships that are either in the middle of being built or they have been built, and he's kind of keeping them back. Because he's still supporting the Stark cause. He's not down with what happened at the Red Wedding. You know, you had one of his sons that died, and another one that was captured by the Freys. Well, no, one of his sons was captured by the Lannisters. Another son was killed by the Freys, and this has made Wyman Manderly a very cautious man. And a shout out to Thrones Wall in the building. What's going on? Um, so when we actually, really get to delve into Wyman Manderly, his motivations, and some of the things he's done. One, he is a bit of a social climber because he when the war is kind of kicking off, he tells Rob, "Hey, look, if you're gonna call yourself a king, you need to have your own money. That will cement you. That is the thing that will definitely cement you to for people to know that this is a real thing. Because all kings have to have their own coinage. So hey, we can make coins for you, and that kind of never really gets settled. So I want to see if they're going to bring that back up. And then there's another issue that goes with that too. Is he has a dispute with Bruce Bolton over the lands of the Hornwoods, and it's basically like, look, Ramsay, after Lord Hornwood died, Ramsay goes and forces Lady Hornwood to marry him so that he can get those lands. And it's one of those things that is kind of protested. They're protesting, like, look, that's not cool. She was married under duress. The lands either need to uh, go to somebody who's a relation, or need to somehow be divvied up between the surrounding houses or whatever. And that's still kind of a point of contention. Let me shout out Marilyn Bentley and also Leslie Powell and Patty N, who have just joined us. What is going on? How are you ladies doing tonight? Um, so Wyman is playing the game. There are a lot of people who may look down on him because of that, but look, you know what? The man is trying to survive. He's trying to flourish in a time where have his liege lord, who has just been murdered, and have someone new who has been placed above him by someone he considers to be. He has a one enemy that has been placed above him by another enemy. So, yeah, it's one of those things where you definitely have to take into account. It's like, well, how is he supposed to navigate? Because if you leave it up to the Boltons and the Freys and the Lannisters, the North probably wouldn't even exist in its current form, because they would probably go around saying, "I'm going to strip this house. I'm going to strip that house, and install new people, and kill all the people who were there." Oh, shout out to Smokia. What is going on? Um, and damn, I'm trying to think. It's like, look, again, you can call it a little tasteless, but the man's doing what he has to do to survive. And speaking of things that he has to do to survive, right? So Davos Seaworth is sent by Stannis Baratheon to gain the support of northern houses, and one of those being the Manderlys. And when he shows up, like it's funny because he shows up, the Fraser there, right? Fraser like, all right, so this dude is traded to the ground, man. What you gonna do about it? You know, he's talking about he's here for Stannis. Stannis, Stannis is a rebel. This man is a rebel. You want to prove your loyalty to the crown. You want your remaining son back. Nobody know what you gotta do with him. And he arrests Davos. Now, when you hear about Davos later on in the book, before we actually get to Davos's last chapter, it's said that that they cut off his hands and his head, um, and I think it's like mounted it to the city gates or something like that, gates of the Wolf's Den or whatever it may have you. And when I first got to that part of the book, I was like, they killed Davos off screen. What the, yo, what you mother, what? Bruh. Yeah, and when you find out no, that's not the case, it was like, oh, okay, breathe a sigh of relief. So, then you have Davos's chapter where he's in prison. He's got the guards who are not talking to him, and he's sitting there thinking to himself like, "Oh man, they're about to kill me," this, that, and the third, and he ultimately realizes, like, once Wyman Manderly comes and actually talks with him, like, oh, this was all a ploy. Wyman Manderly sends Davos on a mission to go retrieve Rickon Stark, and he's like, look, if you can bring back Rickon and his wolf, then I will get the Manderlys pledged to your service, right? And during this time is where we get the infamous or famous or whatever you'd like to call it, but the very memorable The North Remembers monologue, in which he talks about the things that have basically happened to the North as a region. How the Manderlys owe the Starks a debt that can never be repaid. And, there's been speculation as to, like, what does that mean? And I think the debt that they owe is, like, look, they were about to be obliterated. And not only did the Starks welcome them in, give them a place where they were allowed to flourish, but also they didn't make them they didn't strip them of their cultural identity in terms of making them discard the seven. They were still able to practice their religion, practice their customs, and I'm pretty sure they picked up a lot of northern customs uh through the years. Oh, shout out to DJ. My man. Oh, what's going on, man? Um, and it's one of those things where, like, this was a pivotal. It was one of the most epic moments in the books. You know, and I'll be honest with you. I was kind of tight that it was left out of the show. You know, it. I don't know. It seems like to me a lot of the epic monologues from the books were left out of the show, where there were perfect times. I mean, like, they gave like a part of Manderly's monologue to Lyanna Mormont, and I wasn't I wasn't super angry about it, only because Lyanna Mormont turned out to be an epic character. Now, of course, if a character turned out to be trash, and I'm like, yo, why did you give it to this person? But Lyanna Mormont turned out to be a great character, so I'm not upset about that. But I'm gonna get to show Wyman Manderly in a moment. I wanna finish off with stuff from the books. It is highly speculated, and I think George may have actually confirmed it, that the Freys who were at White Harbor, when they were going to Winterfell, Wyman basically had them killed and you know and baked into a pie, and he presents this pie at Winterfell to the Freys who arrived there, and it's like, "Hey, Don, look, look, this is great pie." Uh, and not only does he present the pie like, "Look at this glorious pie that I brought." He has two helpings. I'm just like, oh man, man is a straight savage for that one. 100% savage. I'm like, oh wow, you actually, oh man, like, yeah, he's pretty much a cannibal now. Yeah. Now, you know what's the funny thing? What if? What if they? What if that was one of the customs that they were allowed to keep? Oh God! What if that were one of the customs they were allowed to keep? Oh man, that would be. Oh man, that would be. Oh, that would be bad. That would be so bad if it was like, yeah, you can keep the custom of yeah, you can keep the custom of freaking of of eating people, being cannibals. Yo, I sure certainly hope that's not true, man. Because that would just be so bad. Oh, that would be so bad. Um, so the last thing I remember from the books about Wyman Manderly, and chat room, correct me if I'm wrong on this, was he got into an argument after bodies start turning up, and basically, the blame game goes back and forth about who it is that who it is that's causing all these dead bodies. And you know yeah, basically a fight ensues, and it sounded like Wyman Manderly's throat got cut. And you know what, I'm gonna hold on, man, I'm gonna look this up real quick, because yeah, it sounded like to me like Wyman Manderly's throat got cut at the end of the Dance with Dragons. Why, like, okay, let's see here. So I'm some arms, blah blah blah. Afraid of murder, blah. Okay, so All right. Oh, okay. So it says his throat nearly got sliced open. All right. Because I remember, seeing something about, blood coming from his jowls or something like that. Because it really seemed like a super slick move, like Hostine Frey was standing right in front of him or something like that, and just kind of, hit him with cat-like reflexes and cut, cut him swiftly across the throat. And then that was it. Okay, so all right, he is wounded, but it wasn't, a super serious one. It's okay. So looks like Wyman might make it out of here alive. Who knows? But let's talk about show Wyman Manderly, and that is the one that you see on the screen here. Now it's funny they only ever showed him, I believe, in two episodes. You have after the Battle of the Bastards, where John is crowned king of the North, and I'm thinking probably the first or second episode in season 7, when when John receives the letter from Tyrion, and it's talking about marching south. Um, so yeah, it's one of those things where they haven't shown him do anything that he's done in the books, and in fact, him along with like damn near most of the northern houses, are chastised by Lyanna Mormont for not answering the call of the Starks, and Wyman is like, yeah, I didn't want to send more Manderleys out to die for what I thought was a lost cause. And then he's like, "Oh, I never thought that I would find another king in my lifetime. He avenged the Red Wedding. He is the White Wolf, the King in the North." And it's one of those things where I'm just like, they really made those northern houses look bad, especially after all of Sansa's bluster, when she was talking to Davos about how what you call it, how loyal the northern houses are. It was like, oh well, yeah, yeah, the northern houses, they're not like the southern houses. They don't uh, get into trickery. They're loyal, this, that, and the third. But then it's like, hey, when we needed you the most, you were not there. You hid in your castles, and you were like, hey, nah, I'm good. Saying out this right now, nah, playboy, I'm good. You yeah. So I don't know what to say about I don't know what to say about Wyman Manley's portrayal, and it's funny because like they show one of the Manderleys, one of his sons, at the Red Wedding, even though like they never introduced him by name. If you go back, you can see that he has like the little merman symbol um on his brooch or surcoat or whatever you may have you. And then same with Wyman Manderly. It doesn't introduce him by name. So for whatever reason, they did not introduce the Manderleys like by first name, and even with House Glover, I'm not sure which Glover that's supposed to be. You know, it could be Galbert Glover, it could be Robert Glover. They didn't say which one. It's just like, oh, nah, Glover on it. Fuck you, Stocks. you know. So yeah, that was pretty pretty interesting. Uh, all right, so let's get to questions. Because That's what we do. That is what we do here. And listen, again, if you are not following me on the Twitter, make sure you are doing so. Make sure you are doing so on the Twitter because I am the Salt King, and I command you to spread the salt. Man, and shout out to everybody dealing with this damn nor'easter. Nor'easter is a pain in the ass. I am so damn sick of snow right now. You have absolutely no knowledge. So done with the snow I am right now. Yeah, so done. I was waiting for the questions. Let me put this on Twitter again because forgive me. I'm typing some stuff right now. Yeah, I really really love um this whatchamacallit here. Elgato Stream Deck. It's a really 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 dope kind of send out my tweets, do all that other good stuff. Yeah, the weather is worse than bipolar. All right, so question from Alicia Kingston. If Rob had not thought with his dick, what do you think the story would look like? Um, well, see, it's not necessarily that Rob thought with his dick. I think that is a misconception about this whole thing. It was that, you know, Rob was taught in a certain manner by his father, right? So while other guys out there might have been like, okay, well, you know what, we're at war. I slept with this girl, whatever, but it means nothing. Uh, Rob was taught, nah, look, if you're gonna sleep with a woman, then basically you have to wife her. Ned did not teach his son anything about one night stands. He was like, yo, look, basically, if you're gonna do anything, then the hell, what is going? Yeah, if you're gonna do anything, if you're going to, wow, got a whole bunch of retweets at one time. Shout out to everybody on Twitter, retweeting right now. Yeah, but if you're gonna, sleep with a woman, basically, you're gonna have to wife her because, at that time, well, with arranged marriages and the way that society uh, viewed sex, remember, women were kind of looked at as property to a certain extent, right? So, it's this was not a why buy the cow when you can drink the milk for free kind of situation. It was kind of like if you drunk the milk, then you must buy the cow. And yeah, that's unfortunately, was his downfall. I mean, he was seduced. It was a thing where this isn't something that's disputed. He was seduced by Jane Westerling. Now, whether or not it was at the behest of her mother, that's a totally different situation. But because he allowed himself to be seduced, this is kind of what we got. So, um, But the story, look, he would have been betrayed regardless. He would have gotten betrayed by somebody. Whether or not it would have been the phrase at some point, or if it would have been the Boltons at some other point, someone was going to betray him. So I don't see it. I don't see it being much different. I think we got the outcome that we were going to get, of regardless of who he would have slept with. Next question from Big E: will Wyman Manderly survive the battle at Winterfell? Yeah, I think he's going to survive. You know, if you're going to kill him off, there has to be a reason for it. I think, you know, you need people who are still willing to play the game around, but people who are still loyal to the Northern cause. And he's really the only person that we've seen that's really kind of like that's really kind of verbalized that there is a Northern cause. Which is probably where most people get the whole grand Northern conspiracy from. Because had it not been for Wyman Manderly talking about how the North remembers, people probably wouldn't have even thought about the whole Lady Dustin thing. Um, they wouldn't be thinking about the Karstarks or the Umbers. So I think he is a very essential part to the possibility of there being a Grand Northern conspiracy. So, you know, uh, I think he's going to be around at the maybe maybe not past the War for the Dawn, but I think he definitely survives the battle at Winterfell, the Battle of Ice, or whatever. Um, so a follow up. I see a couple people talking about how in yeah, a couple of people talking about how in the show there was no excuse for him to sleep with Talisa. Yeah, remember, look, man, in the show it was just like we need to get a hot chick naked. We need to get a very very attractive woman naked in a sex scene with attractive Rob Stark. Like we need Rob Stark is a strapping young man. He's got his muscles on. He's got a six pack. He's growing out his beard. We need to have this man sleeping with an attractive woman. So they brought in the character of Talisa Mager, and it may have been partially because um, they may not know the full story about what's going to happen as to um, whether or not Rob is going to have a baby, or they may not have wanted to give that away. So it's like, you know what? Look, we'll make up this other character here, and we'll kill her off at the Red Wedding and kind of leave that as a thing. It'll be up in the air for the book fans. It'll be something to surprise the book fans. So they'll have to go into the next book speculating as to whether or not, uh, they'll be speculating as to whether or not um, uh, that Jane Westerling is pregnant. So that's what that was. And shout out to I See Spots. Thank you for coming in as always. But yeah, that was basically like, look, they need to have Rob Stark sleeping with an attractive woman. I'm not mad at it. I am certainly not mad at it. Uh, it was funny though finding out that the woman who played Talisa, Una Chaplin, is actually granddaughter of the great comedian Charlie Chaplin. It's a good thing she doesn't look like him, because then that would have been weird. You know, it would be like, oh my god, oh, Rob, Rob, why are you sleeping with Charlie Chaplin? Oh, oh god, oh god, oh man. Okay, next up for Ricky Hunt. Since we're talking about Rob, George said last year that he made a mistake not having Rob as a POV. Do you think he said that because people in the fandom are getting Rob? Um, Before I answer that, I gotta give a shout out to JD,
My man.
my brother from another mother. What's going on? Look, I think that we didn't get a perspective of the War of the Five Kings from any of the Five Kings, and I think that it's like if you wanted to get in anybody's head to see like how they came up with their battle tactics, how things were, I don't know, how things were kind of progressing, um, and it's like what the shifting landscape for someone in that position might have been. Because you got to think, Rob was not a king before this, right? Um, he was a lord's son when this started. Then he became lord, and then he became king. So it's one of those things where, it's one of those things where George probably wishes, one, that we could have gotten, a more well-rounded perspective on the Starks, and also to get inside the head of someone who was not a king and got thrust into that position, and how they were dealing with it. And then there's also uh, the whole thing of with John, with the will with John. Did he actually write the will to make John his heir? How did he feel about the way that his mother talked about John? And things of that nature. You because he did know he could die. Wasn't expecting to die. He may not have been that prepared to die, but he knew it was a possibility. So I just think that there were many things to take into account when it comes to that perspective. Uh, Damn, wish my man JD could stay, but unfortunately, that's how life goes sometimes, right? You only get to pop in, say hi, and then bounce. But it's a rogue thing. You already know how we do. Alright, let's see here. H. Kingston asked, if the great John had not named Rob King, do you think things could have been a bit smoother? Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it's I understand the sentiment, right? Uh, you know, Rob doesn't name himself king. Um, but if Great John doesn't do that, right? Rob never accepts the position of being king in the North. um, then the thing that we have to look at is, would there still be Stark cause, a Northern cause, after the Red Wedding? You know, because it's one thing to say, okay, I'm fighting for my liege lord, to these people. Um, you know, but I think it's when they're fighting for their king. Because remember, they're fighting to maintain or to, yeah, because they call themselves an independent king, right? They're fighting to maintain that independence from the rest of the seven kingdoms. And so this is a rallying point that they would not have had if Rob um if Rob had not accepted the position of king. You know, had it just been, okay, I'm Lord Rob Stark, I'm rebelling, okay, you lose the war, you know, you still have some of the same consequences. Then it's like after that, oh, you know, it becomes a thing kind of like how the Iron Islands was. Like, oh, I remember the one time we fought for, you know, somebody, uh, he wasn't even a king. You know, what were we fighting for? Because that's another thing too. It's like, all right, once they killed Ned, what were they fighting for? Um, they essentially had nothing to fight for once Ned was gone. You know, because at first it was, we need to get Ned back. All right, we can discuss whatever, restitution to the Iron Throne or whatever may have you, but we must get Ned back. And now, once Ned is dead, okay, you've already rebelled. Now, do you continue the rebellion? And if you continue the rebellion, to what end? It's like, okay, uh, we we're, we're rebelling. Um, yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. I had to, yeah, smoke it. Yeah, I know you. I know it's a couple of seconds behind. Before you respond, please allow me to finish. Um, so it's one of those things that if it hadn't been for Ned dying, right, this would be a very different picture. Once Ned is killed, the North has to have a reason to keep fighting because that was their original. Once you name Rob king in the North, now it's like, okay, we have an even greater purpose because the guy who was the the linchpin, or not even the linchpin, the I guess the bridge to the other kingdoms, because Ned going to to the south kind of more closely links them to the other kingdoms. Now that link is separated. Okay, so now with Rob being named king in the north, we're fighting for our independence. And had Rob not been named king, there would be no independent northern movement. So it was essential that Rob accept, the title of king from his bannermen in order to, facilitate the northern separatist movement from the other kingdoms. That's what that is. So, uh, Great John. Some people might look at it as he made things worse by spearheading this. Um, he actually did, I think, what culturally would have been the right thing. And Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is buffering. I mean, I don't know. Like, according to what it says for me right now, the stream, it's telling me that I'm good on the stream. Let me refresh this. Let me just make sure. It's telling me that my stream that I don't know. It's telling me everything's good on my end. So I do not know what's going on. It could be a YouTube thing, but YouTube is currently telling me that everything is I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a YouTube thing. Oh, YouTube is has been extra funny style lately. You know, yeah, YouTube has been extra funny style lately. So I don't know. Shout out to K Philly. What's going on? Yeah. Oh, we got any more questions? Any topics you guys want to discuss? Ah. Marilyn Bentley said I gotta bounce for about 10 minutes to shower. I'll be back. Not sure why I shared that. I mean, hey, listen, everybody gotta hop in the shower every now and then. Very important. Should be done at least once a day. Some people feel at least twice. It is what it is. All right. So, Alicia Kingston asked, "Have you seen the new Deadpool 2 trailer?" Of course. It's funny. So there was a whole thing with Deadpool 2, and what the hell was my damn Deadpool hat? Got all these hats just all over, like in different groupings. But there was, the whole thing where people were saying um, that people were saying like, "Oh, Deadpool 2 is a mess," and they should have had Tim Miller come back, but Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds had some issue, um, and that's why he wound up leaving. But now they done two recent test screenings in like either Houston or South by Southwest or something like that, and both of those have ranked higher than the original Deadpool test screening. And look, I thought this was interesting. I do not know all of the characters who were supposed to be part of the X Force. Um, other than other than Domino and Negasonic, I have no idea. I have no idea who. Yeah, I have no idea who's gonna be in that group. So you know. Let's see. K Philly says, "Yeah, leaks." I don't know any like what leaks you're talking about. If you're talking about Game of Thrones leaks, I'll be honest with you. I have not been keeping up with the leak stuff. I'm trying to go in as spoiler free as possible. And then you got to remember, when it comes to leaks for Game of Thrones, there are a lot of misdirection because people like, all right, so for one, they know that there are people who have drones who are out there filming, right? So they're trying as much as they can to misdirect people. So I'm hearing that they're shooting things 3 and 4 different times in different ways, so that if anybody thinks about trying to leak the ending, they might wind up getting a false ending. Um, so yeah, man. At this point, man, look, I personally would suggest that you stay away from whatever leaks because you don't want to fall into the trap of thinking that you know how things are going to end, getting excited for it, and then when it turns out differently, being very disappointed. So, look, if leaks are your thing, if you like leaks, if you like going in with prior information, that's cool. I personally, though, uh, I personally would suggest against it, but that's just me. Uh, Smoke ya asked, do you think Slaver's Bay will team with Cersei? Um, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Um, okay, whatever. All right, I'm seeing people in the chat saying it's buffering. So honestly speaking, I really wish I could tell you something about that, but like if I could show you what my screen looked like, it's been telling me ever since I started that stream health is good. So it's something on the other end with YouTube. It is not me. Unless you unless YouTube is lying to me. Which that would be kind of crazy. YouTube sitting here lying to me, telling me everything's good. How dare you? Dare you? Oh man. Um but yeah, Slaver's Bay teaming up with Cersei. Um I mean, look, people have been speculating that we are going to see Dario Naharis again, possibly with the Golden Company. Um, and that would be interesting to say the least. But I was hearing that from last year, from the last season. So we can't necessarily put stock into into that. But that would be interesting if Slaver's Bay, which remember now it's called the Bay of Dragons or Dragons Bay or something like that. That would be interesting if we saw that. But I mean, at this late in the game, only 6 episodes left in the series, not even in the season, but the entire series. Um, I don't I don't personally see use for it. So while that is interesting, and while it could possibly happen in the books, slight, very slim chance that it could happen in the book, but it could happen. Um, I don't know that it necessarily serves a narrative purpose at this point. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see. All right, next up from Ricky Hunt. Do you think Horsebane Umber is working with Wyman Manderly? Now this one goes back to what I was saying before about the possibility of this whole Grand Northern conspiracy being a thing. Um, I mean, because well, it's Crowfoot and Horsebane. I mean, that's correct. Horsebane. I just want to just think about that name for a second. Horsebane. Wow. He might fit in with Stannis because we know how Stannis feels about prostitution. Uh, so I wouldn't doubt that he is working with Wyman Manderly. Because look, I have a hard time believing that there is any Umber that would be loyal to Roose Bolton. We all know that Wyman Manderly definitely is not loyal to Roose Bolton. Uh, yeah, and I have just a very hard time. Um, I have a hard time believing um, that any Northern House is actually loyal to the Boltons. So, I don't know. Um, it would make sense just because no one likes the Boltons, so I can't see it being the thing where I don't know. But see, here's the thing though, because Wyman Manderly seemed generally scared that he seemed generally scared that him making alliances with the wrong people would bring his house to ruin. So I don't know. I mean, like it makes sense in terms of like the houses that are most loyal to the Starks. But again, Wyman Manderly is a very practical human being, and for all intents and purposes, when you don't know who you can trust, trying to make an alliance against the Boltons and the Freys right now might be I don't know, might be a very tenuous situation. But I don't know. We'll have to see how that one goes. Oh, and apparently, okay, I guess there are a few houses that are. You know what? I forgot all about the goddamn Karstarks. Yeah, you're right. Karstarks probably are truly loyal to the Boltons. Apparently, House Whitehill. And you know what's funny? So I forgot about House Whitehill because you got the Whitehills and the Foresters from that game. Minor houses, very minor, very, very minor. That don't show up anywhere else. Super minor houses. So minor, I forgot they existed until you guys mentioned them in the damn chat. Let's see here. Let's see here. Cat asked, by the way, what do you think will happen with the phrase, with what's left of the phrase? Um, there's going to be a phrase civil war once old man Frey is dead. Once Walder Frey dies. Because, like, he had so many wives, so many children. There, I mean, like, you can see it in Little Walder and Big Walder's whole thing when their dynamic, where it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're in line, but if I get the chance to kill you, I'm going to do that. Take your place. So there's definitely going to be a fray civil war to see like who winds up as king shit of Turd Mountain when it comes to frays. But who knows? Arya could come through and just wipe them all off the board at once. We'll see what happens. But I don't think that House Frey is long for this war. Any branch of House Frey. Ricky asked, wasn't it a prostitute whore's bane? Okay, I'm lost. You know, like, phrase Civil War. um, you know what? Honestly speaking, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, like I said, the name. Uh, I mean, if you're gonna have a name like Whore's Bane, um, you know, anytime you're supposed to be the bane of someone's existence, I mean, like you know, like Torment Giant's bane. You know, now again, he's like, hey, I was you know, basically nursed by a giant, but you know, I would look crazy out here with the name Torment Giant's babe. Uh, you know, so yeah. Honestly speaking, I don't know, man. When it comes to that, oh, shout out to Frank from Way Off Topic Radio.
My man.
What's going on, Frank? Yeah, we got to link up, man. Maybe next week. This weekend, I'm super busy, but maybe next weekend if you follow at me. Ricky says Lady Dustin seems to be playing both sides, but she does have marriage ties with Boltons. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Lady Dustin. You know, I honestly do not understand what the deal is with her because you know when she's talking to not Ram, Reek, Theon, she's saying all of this stuff, and it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, is she saying this stuff in the hopes of leaking false information to the Boltons, or is she truly mad or still upset with Ned over this whole thing? And remember, think about it, right? Ned at this point has been dead for like 2 years. You know, he's been dead for like 2 years, and it's like, what is the point of her still being upset with him? Like, is there really a point? So, uh, but all right. So, Ricky Hunt asked, "What do you think of the theory that Wyman wrote the pink letter? He has access and is sneaky enough to." Well, the thing about it is, like, he'd have to have a motive, to write that, because you know, think about it. He's talking about, in the letter, you know, it's talking about basically threatening the Lord Commander of Night's Watch, and that is a very big taboo. Uh, and the question is, like, what would someone have to gain? Like, what would Wyman Manderly have to gain by having John come down from the? That's the thing. We have to look at the motivations as to whoever wrote the letter. What is their motivation? What do they gain by John leaving the? That's a big thing to think about. Shout out to Lord Dom Snow.
My man.
What's going on, man? How you doing? And also John DeVoe.
My man.
Soundboard still in full effect. Already know how it goes. Oh man, oh man. And it's funny because Lord Dom Snow actually quoted Sansa, and it's, my father always said Northerners are different, more loyal, and suspicious of outsiders. Yeah, and it's like I was saying, for all of that she was talking to Davos, man, show they were just like, yeah, nah, all that loyalty shit we were talking, nah, good. Let's see here. Big E says the only two who need John to lead the wall were Stannis and Mance Raider. Um, yeah, and I don't think that Stannis and Mance Raider were working together. I mean, they could be. I mean, because I'm pretty sure Stannis has to know about the whole glamour, so that would be interesting. Uh, Wesley Manbridge,
My man.
what's going on, man? How are you doing today? Ah, man, oh man. AK says I think it makes the most sense for Stannis to have written. I mean, that is Tony Teflon's assertion that Stannis wrote the letter. What's his dude? Preston Jacobs. Preston Jacobs says that Stannis. No, not Stannis. That Mance Raider wrote the letter. Um, you know what? I forgot what Elio and Linda said. I haven't talked to Elio and Linda in a while. I gotta see what's up with them. They're always on the always. That's why they don't make. Let's see here. And also Ricky and John. Um, Ricky and John DeVoe also believe that Stannis wrote the pink letter. Lord Dom Snow, thank you for the compliment, good sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me go and congratulate myself. No, stop being so damn cheesy. Oh man, I try never to break my arm patting myself on the back about anything. But, I do like to accept compliments. Thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, when it comes to look, Preston can be interesting at times, but there are times when he definitely goes right into the damn tinfoil. I mean, it sounds like he damn near bathes in tinfoil sometimes. You know, it's been a while since I watched any of his videos. I don't know. He's doing Westworld right now, and the only thing I know about him in Westworld, he's basically hating on Westworld. It's like I think I watched like two of his Westworld videos, and it was just like, okay, you're just it's just all about trying to hate on the show. Westworld is fucking phenomenal. Okay. All right, let's see. Ricky Hunt said he lost me at the nuclear war stuff. Yeah, nuclear winter and all. I mean, because look, you're talking about people that got. He's talking about people that at some point they basically bombed themselves back into the Bronze Age. Uh, and yeah, like they bombed themselves back into like the Stone Age or the Bronze Age or whatever, and for whatever reason they just haven't progressed past the Iron Age. Um, Iron Age or still I don't know whatever they would have called it for the medieval like once steel was developed. Yo, yeah, Biggie. I know you talk. Yeah, you talking about the Elaine chapter, where supposedly they're gonna find out about, like the cheese actually sends the Stark from the shoe or whatever. Which I was like a little far fetched. Just I don't know what theory he has about Corin Halfin, or at least if I may have heard it before and not remembered. All right, Frank asks, could it have been Littlefinger who wrote the Pink Letter? Um, I uh, I don't think so. Only because Littlefinger has not mentioned anything about Northern politics whatsoever. He pretty much keeps everything south of the neck. So yeah, I doubt it. I mean, if it was show Littlefinger, um, if it was show Littlefinger, I could possibly see that. But book Littlefinger, I don't think so. All right. Shout out to Annie Cash. Says Preston needs an award category of shit most likely to not happen. You know what? I wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt that it's not going. And I was trying to figure out, like, how do you word that, like, because it basically sounds like a double, maybe even triple negative. It's the weirdest thing. Ricky Hunt says, I might debate Order of the Green Hand on RLJ, actually. Just working out something. Do they actually debate people for real? I mean, the last thing that I remember seeing was them getting into like a heated Twitter argument back and forth with LML. Um, and I'll be honest with you, that whole back and forth with the two of them kind of soured me to the both of them. Actually, I hate this stupid mustache. So you shave and still get a little whiskers. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Listen, if you don't eat a mustache, don't grow. um. Um. Listen. What are the Green Hand? The last couple of things I remember seeing from them. Super tinfoil. Super tinfoil. Um, I think they took the whole tinfoil cake for some of their stuff. You know, it is what it is. Let's see. What else? Ricky Hunt says, I think a dark horse could be Mel. She was desperate to stop John from going to Hardhome. Um, could be. Could be. That would be, like, I had a slight thought about that once. I didn't really, like, delve into it too deep. But I was like, what if Melisandre wrote it? And I just kind of, like, said that and just left it there and never kind of really went back to do a deep dive. Maybe I'll do a deep dive on like the Melisandre chapters and see if it's possible that she could have written the whatchamacallit, the pink. But let's see. Yeah, no, Alicia LML and Order the Green Hand about maybe a month or two ago. They got into some Twitter beef. They were doing all kinds of back and forth ad hominem attacks and all that. It was I don't know. Like I said, that it can't like look. Mind you, you know, I can be petty. Anyone who knows me knows I can be petty. Uh, I don't necessarily like being petty on public forum. Because sometimes the petty can be taken out of context. I think that petty has its place. I don't know that petty has a place in such a public forum as Twitter, but that's just me. I try to keep the petty off of that stuff. So yeah, yeah. Thrones. Listen, I don't listen to Preston and Red Team. You know, Red Team is an interesting kind of character. He's the guy who tells. He's the guy that will make videos talking all kinds of shit about people, go to people's comment sections, talk crazy to them in their comments, and then go on his videos complaining about, I don't understand why people on YouTube don't like me. Uh, and he's done this a couple of times. So yeah, I don't mess with Red Team Review on any level. Um, and it's probably best for him that he doesn't show his face, because I'm pretty sure that there are a few people in this world who would probably do him harm if they knew who he was in real. So yeah, I mean, look, I got no animosity towards him in terms of like wanting to do any harm to him. I save that for someone else who's fucking. But yeah, as far as Red Team is concerned, I don't deal with anything Red Team at all. Wesley Manbridge said, "Stream yourself shaving." Oh, that would be so embarrassing. It would be bad. That would be bad. And yes, Red Team is racist as hell. So, and again, he's he's one of the dudes that will make videos about people. Because he actually made a video. He made a video talking crazy about Kraken, and kind of by extension, Hype's Watch. He was talking crazy about Bar back when she was doing videos. Um, who else? There's a couple other people talk crazy about, and then it was like, oh, once he was kind of found out, because I guess he figured that none of the people that he talked about, he figured were going to see the video. Then after that, he was like, "Oh, taking this video down." What? I don't understand why. Like, yeah, a couple of months later, I don't understand why people in YouTube don't like me. You know, I've done all this stuff to help so many content creators. It's like he talks shit about Preston Jacobs, and I'm like, I don't think that Preston watches anyone's videos. Honestly speaking, I don't think Preston watches anyone's videos, so I doubt that he was aware that Carmine has talked all kinds of crazy shit about him. Because I remember when I had first got introduced to his videos, I remember him saying, and I'm talking about Red Team, that like hated theory videos, and basically he hated people who made theory videos. And I remember him specifically calling out Preston. And in fact, in that one video, the video he took down, he called him Preston Jukebs. Which I was like, wow, what the fuck? Like, really? Yeah. So yeah, man. Nah, I don't Yeah, he's stalked a couple of females. Yeah, man. Just I can't rock with it. Yeah, smoked ya. Look, man. Smoked ya. You don't want to know who Red Team is. Trust me. Trust me. Let's see here. Yeah, listen. Let's get off the topic of that dude. You know what's funny? Keep this keep this on the low, even though we on the live stream. I have the video where he was talking shit about like one of the last videos that I know that he was talking shit about people. Yeah, don't put up a video talking smack about people and thinking that somebody is not going to download it and send it. Yeah, shout out to Bar. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Bar said she got kind of not depressed, but I mean I don't know a better word to use for it. I mean, um, you know, she stopped making videos. I mean, it's funny because she's an Aquarius, same sign as me. Aquarius is go through mood swings. Aquarius is go through crazy mood swings. So I understand exactly where she's going. I understand 100% where she's going. Man, you know what's crazy? Uh, off of the subject. Where the hell's Debo at, man? I done made sure to to reformat my damn outro. reformat reformat the damn outro because Debo said he was gonna be here, and now Debo is not here. And it's like because I got to dab on Debo at the end. You like that is a requisite. Even you know what? Even if Debo's not here, he's still getting dabbed on. Discuss. Oh man, yo. But yeah, while I'm here, Saturday, this Saturday. For those of you who may not know, okay, so March 24th, Saturday, March 24th. Debo's out stealing bikes. Yeah, soundboard is actually a little bit low. Wait, which one did I use? I don't know. But anyway, Saturday, March 24th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And shout out to DJ11
My man.
in the building. But yeah, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be having the March reread for the Hypes Watch, and this one is going to be John's last chapter. You know what? We were talking about the Pink Letter. We're actually going to be doing that chapter. It's the last chapter for John, A Dance with Dragons. We had the Twitter vote on that one. I actually wanted Game of Thrones prologue because I thought that was an interesting chapter. But people wanted A Dance with Dragons. So, hey, yeah, can't win. Yeah, Ricky, yes, Debo was Villager number 5 last week. He said he was going to be 2016 police this week because apparently the dab is just too old. 2016 called and wants a dab back. But if you guys did not know, I actually was knighted a while ago. And I was knighted as the Knight of the Dabbing Tree. Oh, man. Big E. Big E. Oh, my. You know what?
Bruh.
You. Badlands. How dare you? I can't believe in the Badlands again in season 3, man. I couldn't believe it when I couldn't believe it when they got a season 2 and then now they're getting to season 3. Into the Badlands is fucking horrible, bro. I'm sorry, man. Into the Badlands is so it is yeah. Oh man, so Big E said the dab is cursed. Clinton dabbed and lost to Trump. Yo, but Clinton shouldn't have been dabbing in the first place, man. Clinton needs to stay in her fucking lane. She shouldn't have been dabbing in the first damn place, man. So you know what? It's all good. She can lose. It had nothing to do with dabbing. All right. So Ricky asked, "Do you believe in Jojen paste?" Um. It's hard to say. I mean, because what's funny? Like, so we went through that chapter. That was the last reread. In fact, was the uh, brand 3 in the Dance with Dragons. And the reason why I think that it's not a true thing is because Bran knows what the taste of blood is like for real. It actually, like, he talks about the taste of like the red sap inside of the paste, and it sounded a lot more to me like Shade of the Evening. Uh, so yeah, I don't think it's Jojen paste, but I do think that Jojen might already be dead. Like I wouldn't be surprised by it. Oh man, okay, so let's see. Big E says Carolina dabbed and lost in the Super Bowl. That was Scam Newton. Scam Newton is not a good quarterback. Let's see here. Golden State dabbed and lost to Cleveland. Who dabbed in Golden State? I mean, but yeah, but you know what? Did they not? Did they not destroy Cleveland the last time around? So I mean, says France soccer team dabbed and lost in the, in the World Cup. Clemson in college football dabbed and lost to Alabama. Oh my god, it is hilarious. Yeah, but I just want you to think about something. The Migos, were dabbing it up, and then they wound up getting, super big hits. So I mean, it's in context. you know, it's in context. Let's see here. Um, yeah, but I'll be honest with you. Yeah, man. Back to into the Badlands, quick, man. Oh my god, I can't. Yo, that show was so trash. Yo, listen, man. If you guys know anyone in the New York area who wants to try to really put together uh something in terms of like a short film, a feature, or a series, something, man, tell them to hit me up because I really do want to link up and show people what I think good storytelling is and what it can. Um, yeah, because like I'm seeing a lot of really a lot of really weak stuff. A lot of really weak stuff flourishing right now, man, and I'm tired of it. Tired of weak stuff getting recognition. Let's see here. DJ11 says, Willie, aka Marvel, TV and movies, live stream soon. Let's get in it. Yeah, listen, hit me up, man. Hit me up, after this is over or, whenever you can. Let's talk about putting something together, Marvel is my thing. I'm always down for the Marvel stuff. As you can see. All right, so Leslie Powell asks, how do you think the Northern Houses will react to Danny? Um, I think they're going to. At first, they're going to be not only skeptical but hostile. Remember, her father uh, killed their liege lord and his heir. Um, his, like her older brother, who was the heir to the throne, as far as everyone knows, kidnapped the daughter of their liege lord and raped her and held her in a tower, and then she wound up dying. Uh, and here she comes back now with fire breathing dragons. She locked up their king, and now he comes back as a subject. And here she comes with two fire breathing dragons. So I think that they are going to be initially hostile to her until John explains, like, look, I went on a mission. She risked her life. She lost one of the only three dragons in the world in order to save me. I think we owe it to her to to ride this thing out with her as the queen. And DJ11, I have absolutely no idea how many lip dabbing teddy bear NFTs you own. I didn't even know that was a thing. Honestly speaking. Let's see here. All right, Alicia Kingston, would you ever make a gaming channel? If so, what would be the first three? Honestly speaking, gaming channel is not for me. I have an Xbox One that I bought like 2 years ago that is still sitting in. I bought it. I bought the Gears of War for special edition with the with super blown out whatchamacallit, hard drive, and it is sitting collecting dust. And people keep on telling me, "Oh, you sell it, you sell." I'm like, "Nah, man. I'm gonna eventually play. I love Gears of War. I'm gonna eventually play it, and yeah, still." Let's see here. Biggie says Jessica Jones season one over season. I'll agree with that statement. But what I think season two was necessary to move the characters forward. Uh, Jessica, Malcolm, and Trish. I think that season two was necessary. Um, and listen, let's not get it. Let's not get it twisted. Season two wasn't a bad season. You know? Look, season two of Jessica Jones is still far and ahead, leaps and bounds above Iron Fist or the Defenders, and still better than season one of Luke Cage because after the first half of season one of Luke Cage, it fell off. So that's still putting it in a high percentage for me. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but let's see. Any cash apps do they have to be in New York? If we're talking about like collaborating on like film projects, yeah. Currently, they have to be in New York only because I don't have the means to travel extensively. Uh, in order to work on film projects. So yeah, right for the time being, until I'm able to build up some sort of nest egg that would allow me to travel and to take off work extensively, and I would have to be right now, or at least somewhere in the surrounding area. You know what? I have to go back and watch Punisher season one because I started on that, and I started on that at a time when I was like, I don't know, man, I was going through flu or whatever may have you. So I'm watching that, you know, in my bed and keep on wake up like 2 episodes later. Wait, what happened? So I got through like the episode 6 and don't remember a damn thing about it. So I have to go back and start that all the way from the beginning again. Let's see here. Okay, Ricky Hunt says since 1-1 is here, what do you think of Davos possibly being a dragon seed? I mean, it's funny, right? Because you have in the Sons of the Dragon book, there is a Davos Baratheon, right? And it's Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat. Jerry the Targaryen, God, this fucking guy. All right, where did I leave off? There was a Davos Baratheon. Baratheons are said to be related to the Targaryens from way back. Conqueror. Um. Uh. Davos, we don't know where he comes from. You know. It would be interesting. It would be interesting. Yeah. Jerry's crazy. Jerry finally shows up to a damn stream. After like months of me doing this, Jerry finally shows up to one. The first thing he wants to do is come and disrupt. How dare you? Oh man, oh man. All right, listen, speaking of Marvel shows, man, I keep on telling you folks, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and no one ever wants to listen to me. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., only thing topping Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be Daredevil Season 1. Daredevil Season 1, as far as anything Marvel related on the television side, is probably the pinnacle for me. Except I wish they would have given him um, I wish they would have given him the Daredevil outfit, like the official costume before, like the last episode. That's the only thing. I'm like, damn. Could you have given him like maybe like it was like 13 episodes? Give it to him in like episode like fucking 10 or something, man. Like why wait until episode 13? DJ11 says Luke Cage is okay. Defenders is mad. Jessica Jones is. I will agree. Wow. So all right. Let's see here. EJ11 says Davos is 100% a dragon seed. Aegon the Conqueror was sterile. He has no true seeds. Boom. Heard it here first. Uh, man, damn. It's a pretty bold claim there, bro. Pretty bold claim. Okay, so Ricky Hunt actually. Oh, okay, Ricky, I didn't know that you watched Agents of Shield, man. DJ11 watches Agents of Shield as well, so round of applause to my people. Agents of Shield, awesome. Every time I keep on hearing people say, "Oh, Agents of Shield is absolute garbage," I'm just like, people don't know. People just don't know. They haven't watched, and that makes me want to say,
Execute Order 66.
or
This is Sparta!
Oh yeah, and don't worry, Jerry. There will be a soundboard on Saturday. Jerry, Jerry,
Bruh.
Jerry,
Bruh.
Jerry.
Bruh.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You don't
It
talk
was at
about
this
it
moment that
shit
he
like
knew
that.
he fucked up.
Yeah, man. Oh, Rick, you want to know what chapter one? No. John chapter one for Saturday. So, unfortunately for John, he decided to go and got his ass killed for it. We'll get around to the prologue sooner or later. Man. I'm about to call it a wrap, though, man. You already know, as always, Thursday night, I got paperwork I gotta finish. I need to stop doing it. I don't know. You know what it is? I actually was going to try to finish my damn paperwork before I started the live stream, but I was so freaking tired. I had to take a nap. Uh, Cause you know what, people. Uh, as much as I like cats, I think when this one dies, I'm never getting another one again. And I mind you, this is gonna be years. I mean, the cat is still kind of young. I probably still have another 10, maybe 15 years with this cat. I don't know. But cat is a pain in the ass. Oh my god, that cat is a damn pain in the ass. Shout out to AU Papio.
My man.
Uh, oh my god. Yeah, man, felines, man. Felines are an absolute pain in the ass. Um oh man. No, Jerry, I did not talk about how wishy washy Wyman Manderly is. I did talk about how wishy washy the damn showrunners made him, but not how wishy washy he actually supposedly. Let's see here. DJ11 is like, hey, have you all heard Aegon the Conqueror? Sterile. Truth. Um, Look, it could be true. I am not going to. I'm not going to say that it's false. I mean, we were kind of debating this last week. Speaking of which, my Aegon the Conqueror video, I had no idea how bad the sound was on that until like the next day. I went back and played it. So like, if you go to look for the video now, it is not there. I made that as unlisted because I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe it was that bad. So I'm actually going to redo stream for Aegon the Conqueror. Uh, Either I'm gonna try for Sunday or um, sometime next week, but I'm still gonna do my regular Thursday one. But yeah, man, I had absolutely no idea so, that it was that bad. Ugh, man, oh man. Yo, I still can't believe that Debo did not show up. He needs to get this. He needs to get this damn dab, man. He needs to catch this dab. Oh man. Yeah, but you know what? Getting close. I mean, you know what's funny? Like the whole thing with Aegon the Conqueror, right? Now that people are kind of talking about this in the chat, and this will be the last thing what you know? No. I'm gonna save this for when I do the Aegon stream. Uh, to talk about Aegon Conqueror and the possibility of him being sterile. So make sure to follow me Twitter. The hell? Yeah, you were supposed to. There we go. Yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitter so you can see when exactly I Aegon stream again because I will be talking about the possibility of him being sterile, whatever. I don't know. It's late now. Talking gibberish. Ugh. All right, so very last question from very last question here uh, from Wesley Manbridge. If the world of Ice and Fire was a real place, where would you like to visit first? I'm going to say Summer Isles. Uh, Look, for one, always sunny. Um, they happen to like pleasures of the flesh. Apparently, they got some good wine there. Um, yeah, and yeah, I'm like, well, what is there to not like about Summer Isles? That'd be the first place. Um, I definitely would want to visit the beach. Maybe Lannisport. I'm trying to go like the vacation spots. Like I wouldn't want to go to like a Shy or the ruins of Valyria or something like that, man. I'm not trying to do like the Basilisk Isles and fucking the Sithorios and Ulfo. Nah, man. I'm not trying to do all that extra crazy shit, man. I'm not trying to do the shit that's gonna get me killed. If I'm leaving where I'm at, I want to go somewhere where I'm gonna be comfortable. Uh, yeah, I'm definitely not going to Noth. No, I'm not going to the island in Noth with the freaking poisonous butterflies. Like that shit ain't happening. No. Let's see. Oh man, hey, what do you guys want me to stay longer? Look, I really wish I could, and I'm gonna try for a super stream one of these Saturdays where I'm just there for like all day. I'm gonna have to make me like a little break one though. Like, hey, I went on break for whenever I gotta go to the bathroom and get some more water or something like that. Yeah, you know what? Definitely gotta go to Dorn. But see, here's the thing though, right? Because Dorn, um, I don't know, Dorn. I don't know. I have to think about Dorn. I'd have to think about Dorn. Arbor, gotta get some Arbor Gold. Dornish Red. That obviously would be cool. Uh, Yeah, alright, so look, I'm out of here for this one. I would like to thank everyone who showed up tonight. Always, you guys make this so much fun, which is why I keep on doing it. Um, thank you to everybody who showed up in the chat tonight. Thank you to everyone who will watch this later on. Oh, and I passed 3,300 subscribers. Let's see how long that holds. it took me like a year to get to 3,300. I was at like 3,295 for like a year. So it took me like literally a year to get 5 subscribers. Oh my god! Hey, it is what it is. But yeah, man. You guys are great as always. You already know what the deal. No, not 33,000, 3,300, 3,300, 33K. No. 3.3K. Yeah, look, you guys already know what the deal is. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and come back for more. That is my time. This is Don Willie saying Vala Dohiris, and of course, for Debo. You already know.